and that is the last time I ever tried out Pizza the Hut.
Oh.
Came out to the car, mozzarella cheese all over it.
That's always fun.
It's a weird thing, but sorry for the cheesy intro, guys. This is ZZP Power Hour 150. And we got down here at the end,
Ross, welder.
Chris, mechanic.
I'm Ryan, mechanic.
and I am Randy. I do things as well. We wanted to get all the guys up here and talk to you guys a little bit about, what they do in the day-to-day, but also, we get to mess around with some really cool cars at work, right?
Yeah.
But we also have some real fun projects at home we get to play with. And, it might be bold to say, I think Ross probably has the funnest project car at the moment.
Might be a bit odd, but yeah.
Maybe we could figure out a little bit about what Ross does on his off time.
Yeah, so I've got a 99 E46 BMW that I am putting a Toyota 2JZ in. And yeah, just basically fun 500 horsepower street car.
It's a basic swap, right? It just bolts right in. The mounts are
wiring hooks right up.
Yeah, perfect.
It's all nice and easy.
Weekend job.
And that weekend's been 3 years long.
Yep.
So go through it a little bit. So I noticed you had some pretty baller looking valve covers the other day.
Yep. Yeah. So it's got some billet valve covers on it. Stock bottom end 2JZ out of a 95 SC300. It's got a custom intercooler, custom turbo manifold, all built by me. Oil cooler. Pretty small turbo, GTX 3582R.
Oh, that'll light pretty.
She'll do the job.
Yeah, that'll light pretty quick on a 3-liter.
So nothing too crazy. E85, some high RPM springs, and standalone.
Heck yeah!
Should be pretty.
What's the trans you use in the car?
Just a stock 260G BMW.
Cool. It's not a Z0414, but it seems to do the job. So what's the plans for it? Just fun straight line car? Are you gonna do slidey boy stuff?
Probably slidey boy stuff. I'm gonna weld the diff up and basically something fun I can put my kids in, because the last car was a bit excessive. I didn't feel safe putting my kids in.
You had a pretty sick first gen V, right?
Yep. Yeah, it was a single turbo LS, about 900 wheel. Broke a lot.
Had roughly 10 grand in the rear end, right?
Yeah.
Right around.
You gonna put an e-brake in it?
And the BMW?
Yeah.
Hydro things?
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Fancy billet handle in the center. And should be a fun car till the trans breaks.
Well,
it'll be a fun car up to that point.
Well,
still.
The fun fact about 2J stuff is we have a customer of ours, Paul Clark. He has a 2J and a Sky, and if I remember correctly, AR5s bolt directly up to them.
Yeah, I was talking to him a little bit about it when he had
stopped. They're the same bolt pattern. I had no idea until Paul was like, "Yeah, it's a stock AR5."
That's pretty surprising.
Oh yeah, that's surprising. Now he does not have that anymore. I think he has a TR6060 maybe. I forget.
Yeah, they make an adapter for it.
He has some baller trans in it now, but
yeah.
Captain Slow. Someone say first gen V, not your V. Mike Canatelli. He's
listen here, kid.
Whoa, we got Ryan D in the house.
Mike, just go ahead and take that wrench away. So Ross
suspect he's been drinking.
Yeah,
he's probably sipping mimosas on a beach or something right now.
If nobody here has experienced 3-drink Ryan, it is a different type of loudness. So Ross has some pretty cool stuff. A lot of people don't know, but Chris has a pretty cool truck. He's got some thumpy noises in the truck.
She sounds real nice.
What's onto it?
Just a BTR Stage 4 cam. Heads are milled, so it's got a lot of compression.
And E, right?
Yeah, it runs on E, long tubes and all that fun stuff.
So it looks like
nice loose torque converter.
Maybe when they do a street tire day at 131, they can line your truck up against my truck, see what they'll do.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good time. I'd be down for that. Maybe put some street tires on it though.
Go rip up all the track prep with it.
Yeah. I always feel bad. I love seeing really fast trucks with all-terrains or mud terrains on them. But whenever you see them at the track, you're like, oh, everybody hates that guy.
I think Anything's been that far apart?
Yeah.
What'd
I
you
didn't
do?
know that.
Cab corners and rockers kind of
Oh.
snowballed.
Oh, yeah, it looks like it. Cab corners, rockers turned into a
Classic-
bed in the
classic,
front half of the truck.
While you're in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, might as well paint the frame while it's this far apart.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you just, funnily enough, you just did a similar project on our shop truck, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. I didn't feel like any pictures.
We should have had pictures of that unit up.
Must
That
have
was
been.
Customly modified.
I came outside and Chris had floor pans out of our shop truck,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What's going on?"
Floor pans,
Fred
doors.
Flintstone unit.
Yeah, we don't have to have the shipping guys, Fred Flintstone, around
No.
around the property anymore. So.
We took care of the wind noise.
Well, yeah, that's
Complained
what I
about.
was just gonna say.
Well,
There, the
no,
little
go for it.
backstory. There was we had our work truck come in, and our work truck it's a nice, like, nice. It's a clean
quotes.
truck.
It is actually clean.
It's a clean truck. Like there's barely any rust on it, except for the driver's side. The driver's side has
floor.
rust on it. Floor, just from walking in
Mhm.
walking in, and it doesn't get washed. It's just a work truck,
Yep.
so it goes back and forth and hauls stuff. But then the guys were complaining about a wind noise, and we looked into it a little bit, and there's a good foot.
If you got teams going up here, Mike, take a check.
Yeah,
What's that?
there's
You got your
a
teams
huge
going
hole
up here.
in
I
the
just
floor.
sent you some pictures.
Yeah. Well, when I first got here, like last March, somebody complained about there's some wind noise in the
Yeah.
truck, and I drove it, and I was like, "There's a hole in the floor." What do you mean?
Well, the real problem is they couldn't turn the radio up because there wasn't a radio in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
That
you
was
turn
the
the,
that
problem.
too.
turn
Yeah,
the radio
yep.
up, the problem goes away.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't have one in it before, so they couldn't do that. There was a problem then.
Randy,
But-
I don't know if you know this. I should have forewarned you.
Oh no.
Chris plays with trucks of all sizes.
Oh yeah.
We go
Well, we're
We're
talking
going big or
about
small, right? Mike?
R-
No,
RC
no,
RC
should we go
car,
bigger or
Chris.
smaller first.
That's you're pushing the buttons.
All right, all right. Look at this guy.
Look at that. That's the size of a Sonic. What was that? A 1.6?
That's more like a spark.
Yeah, I think actually that would beat Tim's Spark by a mile.
Oh, by the Spark for sure.
Yeah.
3 miles. It'd beat
Yeah.
it by.
So what chassis size is that, Chris?
That is a Fif Scale.
Oh, Fif Scale Truck.
It's got a 30cc gasoline engine in it.
Shoot, bet you that thing 60 foot is real good.
Yes, if it has traction.
So where do you play with those? Do you have property or?
No, friend's house.
Mhm.
Friend of mine's got a little motocross track set up for his kids, so I run on that.
Ooh.
And
You could probably get it back
the
there
sand
into
dunes.
what is it, Lake ZZP, the new
Yeah.
one in the back.
Yeah.
I could.
You could probably jump it out of there. That'd be
I
fun.
put
Still
paddles on it.
Video.
What's
Yeah.
that?
I want to do video if you hit jumps.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm down for that.
I still think we need to put little
I
fish.
have paddles for it. It does real well. At
I mean,
Oh,
we,
really?
we
Yeah.
could try.
It's just all the drain off from everything. Be toxic fish.
So just one fit stuff, or do you do other
I
stuff?
have some
too?
110 stuff too. but
Mhm. Yeah, the one.
That's the cool one for sure.
Yeah, the one fit stuff it's not a cheap hobby to get into.
No,
It's
it's not crazy though either. If you buy the Chinese knockoff stuff.
Yeah, if you buy the stuff that takes 6 months to get here, or
Yeah.
whatever. Nice.
Timu. Just buying it off
Yeah,
of
just
Temu
buy
or
like 10 of them on
something. Or
Temu.
Wish.
And make a little piece.
They come like this small. They're supposed to be a fifth scale.
I mean, because like I also do RC stuff, but Chris and I have talked before. I do like the tiny like 1/18 scale like
Yeah.
RC crawler stuff, and it's because I was into 10 scale stuff for a little bit. But my goodness, if you buy like 5 or 6 rigs to start playing with, you start losing room and running out of room real quick.
Yeah.
So now at home I have my little 18 scale, but I can literally just hang them on the wall. Just like
Oh,
this.
there you go.
It's great. I get them all off my desk in my office. It's awesome.
Are they electric?
Yeah, they're all. I have a couple brushless ones, but most of them are brush now, just because they need to be waterproof, and brushless stuff doesn't like the water.
Yeah. Not
But-
a lot of electrical likes water. We
Yeah,
found that out.
When they're cheap enough, you can just replace everything every time. But what do you got working at home, Ryan?
Hold on,
I-
before we move on from
Oh,
Chris,
Oh, no.
okay.
You didn't know.
Chris has got more.
We got one
It-
more.
Yeah.
2.
One
Oh
extreme
yeah,
to
yeah,
another.
yeah, yeah.
So, do you drive this truck for the band?
I did. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah. Kids have graduated now, so I don't pull that trailer anymore. but-
Heck yeah.
So anybody that doesn't know, my background is in semi-truck repair. So I've had my CDL for 20 years and occasionally play with trucks yet. That particular one belongs to my cousin.
Oh,
Ooh.
really?
Is there anything? So I know there's a gigantic scene of fast semi trucks.
Yes.
Did that one have anything like silly done to it?
Not silly. Not Yeah, that truck ran real nice. We'll just say that.
So he's going out to cash days with empty trailers, for semis and.
I don't think it's that.
Well, I've seen a bunch of them just like light all 8 tires up from a stop, and I was like, that's so much surface area to move. The tires are gigantic.
They got all the Torxes.
Yeah, they 8,000 foot-pounds of torque out of a truck. I suppose it's a little easier to spin the tires, but
Yeah.
But that's super cool. I didn't know. I knew your kids were in the band. I didn't know you drove the big truck.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I didn't realize when you said the truck that you were driving. I didn't realize it was that.
Yeah,
That's a unit.
That day was for a parade. We got that truck
okay.
for a parade to look good. It's usually a rental truck from like Star Rental and
Nice.
basic.
I wouldn't call that a truck. I might call that a rig.
Yeah.
Because when I think truck, I think like your pickup truck.
Right.
But that's a heck of a unit. Pretty sweet truck.
Oh yeah.
But Paul Clark, oh boy.
No more 2J talk.
More 2J talk. Just go to another YouTube channel. There's 90 of them that talk about 2J stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm interrupted you.
What? Sorry. Ryan, what does Ryan got going on after?
I got an older version of Chris's truck, to be honest. Single cab, short box. Not a whole ton done to it. Long tubes and cam, and that's about it. She's pretty clean. Yeah, it's my first vehicle, so I've just been doing stuff here and there forever. I'd eventually like to lower it is the plan.
And
But-
S480.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, S480 would get. I do have those turbo headers for the
I
Suburban
know.
sitting in the garage.
Well, that's the long term plan is a turbo. So long term plan is turbo with the and lowered because those wheels and tires are heavy.
Oh yeah.
I mean heavy.
That
And
it's a 4L60 truck right
sadly,
Yeah.
now?
so
Ooh,
is
that's one of those
mine.
PNNNNN.
yeah, it hasn't done it yet, but you just hit the up button on the line pressure,
yeah.
and it fixes that for
Max that
now.
See that's funny too, because like I have a GMT 800 truck,
Yep.
the same generation, but I have a gigantic Suburban, and everybody's like, "Oh, that 4L60 is gonna crap the bed," and I'm like, I've done some real dumb stuff in that truck, and
Yeah,
nothing terrible so far.
mine shifts good, but there is sometimes if it's cold or whatever that it shifts, but it's very delayed. Very delayed.
Fix
so
that with the line pressure, you'll be fine.
it's already all
It is-
the way up.
it is probably- It's arguably
it's as high as she goes, bud.
arguably the best color of that truck, though. I like that
It's
green
beautiful.
a lot.
Actually, that picture was taken by our good old friend Bo Cobb, who he buffed it out that day and then took a picture of it.
Ah.
So it was looking real shiny that day.
Yeah,
It still looks pretty good. I've had a lot of deer run into it, and so
Oh, no.
the whole truck's basically replaced those, which is nice. So
well.
I got new doors, new corners, new cap corners, new rockers. Yeah.
Standard GMT 800 stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty decent. It worked out. The deer worked out. It worked out in that instance, anyways.
Doesn't sound like too bad of a rig.
No.
That's not a super popular color, or that's not a super common color either. So it's
Yeah.
not
No,
nice to
they-
see.
Well, it stinks though too because when you look up that color, it's like there's like 2 different color greens they had,
Mhm,
and the one is super common. It's like a forest green.
Okay.
But then the forest, or maybe that's the forest green. I can't remember what the actual color is, but one of them's really close. But then if you put something up next to it, because my other buddy's truck is that color,
Yeah.
and if you put them up next to each other, they're totally different.
2 different shades.
That's
But-
hilarious. It's like a GM thing because similarly, my car and Tim B's car,
Yeah.
they are the same color green, but if you put my car and Tim's car next to each other, you're like, wrong.
Well, isn't
Yeah.
yours a little bit lighter?
Yeah,
and his is a little bit darker.
Yeah, mine's lighter and Tim's is a little bit darker, but Tim's color is like green o'clock or something, and mine is a different shade of that. I don't know. We took him over to the guys right over here that do body work because I got my hood painted and Tim got his hood painted, and they were like, yeah, these 2 colors are not even close to each other when it comes
It's
to
not
like
like mix the paint once and be
no,
done.
I
because
guess
they have the spectrum analyzer over there
Yeah.
that they scan the paint with, and they're like, nope, completely different. Huh. Which
I guess
is,
I've never
you know-
seen the them close to each other, like
Yeah.
parked right next to each other, where
Yeah.
I've looked at it. Like if they're far enough away, you can't tell.
Oh, that's because mine is broken.
Well,
I
have that.
And
Wow.
Tim's runs.
The
Difficult
difference is
to
Tim pays us to fix it, and you're doing it yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's also true. I do like to try to do most of the work myself when I can. But you get to like a certain point where like Tim's done with the fiddly stuff. He's like, you make the car run, I'll do all the tuning and all the
Yeah.
software stuff. But yeah, Tim doesn't want to cut anything up or do anything if he doesn't have to. So Ross definitely the man. Oh yeah.
Try.
He does,
I
some real-
definitely give him that. That's a big project.
Yeah, he
That's
plays
a
it
lot
off
to
so-
take. That's a lot to
so
take on.
nonchalantly, like,
That's-
oh, it's just a 2J and a BMW. Like,
Yeah, that's not like a cam swap in a Silverado.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not no BTR Stage 3 quick weekend
Yeah.
job. This is a whole situation.
It doesn't seem as bad when you stretch it out over such a long period of time.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
A little bit every weekend.
Yeah.
I suppose, but goodness, it would have been infinitely cooler though. LSJ turbo car. Make like 600-700 on that.
Definitely be a lot easier to fit than a 2J.
Yeah, people. It's funny. I think it must have happened probably 6 or 7 years ago now that people started doing 2J swaps more and more often, and now it's like that's like the car to do 2J things in. Like the E46 chassis is just fantastic, right?
Well, it's a really good chassis for drifting, and a lot of guys use it for that. And I think that's like the first engine that everyone uses for drifting is either
Mhm.
1J or 2J.
Well, that and like because they're Paul would probably disagree with me because he's been through a few, but they're kind of hard to kill. Like if you do like the
Seems
basic
like it.
mod stuff, like
Mhm.
it's like heads, port work, cam springs, retainers. You could really make like upwards of 600 on stock rods and pistons, right?
From what I've read, yeah, I guess it's the difference in the engines. Like they have a VVTi
Mhm.
version that has smaller rods and pistons in it.
Yep.
And then mine is the old non-VVTi distributor motor, so it's got the same rods and pistons as the Supra does.
Gotcha.
So I guess their stock bottom end's good for like 700-800,
Yep.
as long as it's got a decent tune-up in it. So I guess we'll see.
Well, that and like it seems the bigger turbo you go on 2Js too, a little safer the cars get because, like, I mean, most of our guys in the chat here know because they've been around for a while, but like bigger the turbo you get, the less like shock to the rods and the drivetrain on the car.
Yeah, keep the torque under control, and
Yep.
that one's gonna be it's got a really small backside housing on that turbo,
Like a 0.68 or
0.63, I believe.
ooh, wow, that's
T3.
Dang.
It's actually the turbo off Reed's Miata.
Oh.
Got her on a deal.
We're gonna
Oh.
see how that works because it was a really good deal, and we might have to put a bigger back housing on it. But
yeah,
we'll see.
that's gonna spool at like idle on a 3-liter engine.
It's gonna- It'd be great, though.
But that's hella cool. Wow.
That'd be
Do
fun.
you have
though.
pictures of Reed's project?
No,
Oh yeah,
I thought we should save those for when he can be on.
Okay.
that's fair.
Shout
Reed-
out to Reed. He had to leave
Yep.
early today.
Yep. Reed's got a really, really cool project he's working on.
Yeah,
and
he does.
that thing's gonna be a riot when he gets it
It's-
up and running.
It's gonna confuse folks.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It might upset some folks.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty quick. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna have
Well,
more power than the dang
and,
stock
like,
Miata.
I like
And
it
weigh
too
a lot
because
less.
Reed's not like a small dude either. He's pretty tall.
Yeah, he
And
is.
people think that just because you're a tall dude, you won't be able to fit into a Miata at all. And the key is you just got to mount a Kirky to the floor, and then you can fit in anything.
Did you see him back when it had a 4-cylinder in it? He'd drive that thing. He'd leave work and he'd be ripping second gear, and his arms like out the window, and his
Yep.
head's
Yeah.
here's the bottom of the
Well,
top
it's so
of the window.
So funny.
Well,
It's
but
just-
for the longest time, he didn't even have a seat in it, didn't he? Wasn't he just sitting, or didn't he have two Miatas?
Yes.
Yeah, he had two Miatas.
Well, and then the one
Oh.
Miata, he didn't have a seat in it, did he? Wasn't it just like a pillow behind his back?
Well, for legal reasons, he had a seat in it.
Yeah, he had a
Yeah. We're in
but-
Mexico.
That was only when he was in Mexico.
Hold on.
And well,
Oh, yeah.
we were talking about the turbo sizing and stuff like that, and this leads us into something interesting about like the turbo Cobalts, right? That's kind of what kills F-35s is that torque hit. over the course of 150,000 miles. That's what really destroys the input bearing on that trans. People think it's not driving the car correctly, or just beating on it constantly, which it certainly doesn't help. But when you get a spicy tune and like a stock turbo LNF, you get 320 horsepower and probably 400 foot-pounds of torque. Yeah. That's a pretty sharp hit for torque numbers for a 4-cylinder in stock form.
Yeah.
That really destroys trans.
We got a guy that was running over 400 wheel on an F35, and we're like,
for how long?
But you didn't swap it, so just put a bigger turbo on it.
Yeah, you're building that right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but it might be the one I'm working on right now.
His next time here will be for that F40.
Yeah.
I mean, and the F40 is if you had only $4,000 to throw at a car, the F40 is the best mod you can do for a Cobalt, in my opinion.
100%.
Because the trans,
hands down,
they drive so nice.
Yeah, it takes you from this economy car Cobalt to it's just a Regal trans, but it's just so nice, so smooth. I feel like you think about the 3 to 4 and it just happens. There's no you don't have to pull it into the next gear. Next gear every time.
You get an F35 and an F40 car, and you swap that F35 out right away.
Yep.
And then you put that F40 in, and it is so buttery in any car. It's just you just tap the gear shift and it just falls in.
Yep.
It just falls in. It just falls in.
It's all
and you get an extra gear, so you're not freaking 3,000 RPM.
The extra gear
4,000
really helps, especially if you're dailying your car, taking it on the highway. It's all the tactile stuff that people don't think about when you modify cars. Steering wheel, seat, shifter, good car. If you do any of our short shifters, especially the Sonic, I think my car, all the plastic that's in the shifter box, oof, it is not a good time. But you do our shifter base bushings, the bushings on the trans side,
those make a difference.
And our short shifter, it cures so much of the slop. It's ridiculous. It doesn't feel like a $5,000 car anymore. I mean, that could be the $3,000 seats, but but it certainly helps that the shifter doesn't feel like dog dirt anymore.
Just having short throws weight, just the weight, just having the extra weight there just helps so much.
Yep.
It just doesn't feel like a junk car when you shift. If you have a plastic shifter that weighs nothing and you're just there's
and it's funny because I feel like us all working here at ZZP, we kind of forget about it because we get in modified cars all the time that typically have those mods done. But if you get into just any car with no mods done, I drove a stock Sonic probably 6 months ago, and I was like, oh no, this is what we started with. Goodness.
When you get in and push the clutch and you're like, is there a clutch here?
Be like,
is a line blow?
It's so light. So light.
Oh, really? I've never driven.
Yeah, stock clutch in a Sonic it's like a Spark. It
Sonic.
no
I drove Tim's Spark and I thought, oh wow.
Have you driven it?
Yeah, I drove it back from Bell the other day.
Did you?
And you're right, that distance is good for
from here
55,
to there.
60 miles an hour, no matter how hard.
Flat out from here to Bell is 55, 60 mile an hour. That's high. You're not even barely breaking the speed limit.
Yeah, I'm not used to using that much power to get a car moving either.
You can go around a corner. Tim hopped in it, and we were driving around here, and you can go full throttle out around a corner 100% of the time, and you can keep in it and just keep going in circles.
Yep.
Full throttle, and it just there's not enough power to
driving a slow car fast is the cheat code.
You can't drive that one fast.
Well, there's no fast.
You can abuse it, but you're not going to go fast.
No logic here. We're talking about driving slow cars fast. That's all we're talking about. So what are the plans for the rigs this year? Are you guys doing anything fun? Well, I mean, you're midst.
I would like to finish mine, yeah.
That would be ideal. Nice. We're trying to get Ross to go on our Tail of the Dragon trip. That would be
drifty boy around all those corners.
I don't know if the welded diff would really like that.
You ever get pushed around a mountain by a Sonic? Because Tim will show you. I won't. But Tim is, talk about aggressive.
Yeah.
My first trip through there was in the shop HHR.
Yeah.
In the dark, following Noah.
Oh no!
It was more terrifying the next morning going through when I could actually.
And
see
you were
what
like,
we were
"Oh,
doing."
there's so much.
Yeah.
Oh no.
There's so much happening over there."
Yeah.
And there's a 2,000-foot cliff on your
Yeah.
right side. Yeah.
Well, that and like I would almost rather follow Noah than be in the car with Noah. Have you been
Yeah.
in the car with him?
No, I have
Oh,
not.
it's terrifying.
He is so. You think like somebody that drives on track a lot, you're like, yeah, smooth inputs, everything's great. That is not the way that Noah does things.
I mean, he's a great
Oh,
driver,
yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
I've never felt
Fast?
like I've wanted
Absolutely.
to puke getting out of
Like,
a car.
I
to
think-
ride with him.
Honestly, I have a sim rig at home, like a sim racing setup, and Noah's the only one that will come to my house and outdrive me on my sim.
It's pretty impressive.
Because
The kid can drive.
he is a very, very good driver.
But it is scary
Yeah,
to be in the passenger seat.
because you would think like everything translates to smooth is nice, and Noah's like, wrong. Think everything you ever thought about driving a car. No. No
Throw
more.
it in the trash.
Should have joined karting leagues with us on Tuesday.
That's man, I wanted to, but I'm trying to make other bad financial decisions. I can't throw away $250.
Oh yeah.
I almost made the bad decision today because I was
Yeah, you were trying.
I was trying to
You were
make bad
trying.
decisions.
Yeah,
But,
I think for the price, and I'm not gonna say what the price was,
yeah,
but for the price, if you got it for what you wanted it for,
oh, it's a
I think it would
Yeah.
be a great buy.
absolutely.
I think you would have been so happy. And
Oh yeah.
It would have been a great.
I was going back
financial
and
decision.
forth with my better half, like, hey, just so you know, I'm gonna do dumb things today. Just so you're aware, if you see any money come out of the bank account. But luckily enough, for my sake, didn't win the auction.
Yeah, by the time it was done, it wasn't such a deal.
Yeah, it
anymore.
wasn't such a deal after all said and done. Huh, that is what it is. Oof. Sounds slippery. Oh, night runs. So, I have a weird relationship with Tail of the Dragon because I lived in Maggie Valley when I was really young, so we drove the road a lot. There are some locals there that will make your brain hurt about how quickly they can drive around those corners. Like, there's a guy in an FD that goes on that mountain. And, well, to be fair, he uses all of the road.
Yeah, that's a little bit different.
not very
Sounds
smart.
Even more terrifying.
Yeah.
That's
So
worse.
like I don't go all over the mustard and stuff like that. I'm more of a mayo guy. I stay on the outside. If I drop a tire, no problems. Don't mind that at all. But I try to stay as far away from the center line as possible. This guy did not care. There was blind corners. Like there's a gravity cavity on the Dragon that goes down and up, and it's a left-hander. And he would just go straight over that. And anytime I watch a video of him do it, there's like, my heart drops to my stomach. Because I've seen like even motorcycle riders come around that corner leaning over the yellow line. And I'm like, oh, that's a weird way to die.
Dude, I would
Um,
never, ever go on a motorcycle on it.
It's terrifying. I drove like barely a motorcycle. I drove my dad's Gullwing.
I mean,
on that
cruising.
mountain,
I mean, yeah.
But it's nope, hard pass. I'll stick with the seatbelt in the integrated roll cage of a car. Thanks. Boosted beak. Oh yeah, that's true. It's funny, if you get in Tim's car, you can still kind of smell it.
Yeah.
I can still smell a little bit of fire
He just
extinguisher.
randomly went off when he was.
Well,
going
not
I
randomly.
would imagine it was not bolted down.
Yeah, it was not secured in a safe manner.
Tim's like, I need a
What a
fire
panic
extinguisher.
moment.
Bring it with me. Just throw it in.
Well, that and Tim has like a sub and stuff in the back of his car. So like the first thing I would think of is like, oh, like I sheared a power wire going to the amp or something, and something's on fire. That's not good. But
Oh.
luckily enough, it was just his fire extinguisher going off. We also had friends last year come with us that had two goblins. I know how we all feel about goblins here, but Justin Reed, his goblin, that thing is set up for corners. Well, on top of Justin just being a ridiculously good driver, it's got like Nanking AR1s on it. It's like 100 treadwear tires and 15s, and that thing's an absolute ripper. If you ever get the chance, I think he's on YouTube too. But if you look up Justin Reed Racing, that thing's a freaking riot.
I'm not sure you even know what a Goblin looks like.
We've had a couple.
We've
of
had
them
a couple.
here. The little tube chassis cars with a Cobalt drivetrain in the back.
That orange one with the turbo on it that looks like a big goat cart that's been in here multiple times.
Yeah. Tiny dune buggy.
That's what that is, alright.
Yeah, that thing's got like 400 horse. And it's great. They are scary. Like, tuning it, I was riding with Bo, and we were tuning it on the street, and, like, it is just...
Yes, Mexico.
In Mexico.
In Mexico, yeah.
Well, we weren't even going past the speed limit, because we were just tuning it. But the, the 0 to, 30 is just... They're so light.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put... The guy's like, hey, I want a turbo.
And you're like, but
okay.
Why?
It's so fun though. They are like go-karts. Like it's a big go-kart.
Yeah, and I think that one was like 400 wheel. I want to say Justin's makes around the 600 mark. He's got like a Zona, like a 4951 or something.
I've never seen his.
Yeah, I think he makes like
600. How does that weigh?
How do you
I don't know actually. Very, very sticky tires.
Yeah. What kind of tires you say?
Nankang AR1s. They're like 100 treadwear boys. They are.
Dang.
Not for the driving on the street very often.
Yeah. I don't even know if I would drive one of those on the street. I know you can get on the street legal.
Oh yeah.
Because it's technically a Cobalt.
Tyler makes a good point. Supercharged Goblin. So, funnily enough, our friend Paul Clark that has a 2J Sky, he has a LSJ factory supercharged Goblin. That thing is like the perfect amount of scary.
Yeah.
Let me hit this RV Designs real quick.
Yeah, I was hoping you would.
Oh no.
I'd look at anything Everlast has to offer.
It's a good choice.
That or Eastwood. I started with the Eastwood, and that's pretty good budget welder. It's not as much adjustability as Everlast, but Everlast like EXT 210 or anything below that would be great. Great starter TIG welder.
Yeah, if you're trying to avoid the price point of a blue or a red rig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a 210 EXT at home. That's what I do everything on the BMW with.
Mm-hmm.
That's great welder.
And also, so the welder is one portion of it, right? But anybody who's tried to stick two pieces of metal together knows that fit up is the real king of welding.
Yeah.
If you don't
fitment and clean,
clean material and good fit up. If you don't have either one of those, doesn't matter what type of welder you have.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a real bad time.
Yeah, 95% of TIG welding is fit up and clean up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like I can stick metal together, nothing near what probably anybody at this table can do. But I can make two pieces of metal one piece, and that's about it.
That's all you need.
And I can only TIG weld. I can't MIG weld very well at all.
Really?
Yeah.
TIG?
Yeah, because it's easier. It's easier.
That's like the hardest thing. You're above me.
It's easier for me to control because like my hands doing it, I don't have to rely on a machine doing it over and over again. I can just control the puddle a lot easier. I feel like manually versus. I guess that does sound real dumb, but I can't weld aluminum, and that's unfortunate because I blow holes through material about every 4 seconds.
Once you get
it sounds like welding a rusty floor pan into a truck.
Yeah, Chris has some recent experience with this, it seems like.
Well, the hack for that is, Chris, you just roll up little balls of JB weld.
Oh, and stack
and
dimes
stack
that way.
that way. You don't have to worry about it.
See, I was seam sealer for the win.
Yeah, the trick is seam sealer, 100%.
A couple stitches here and there, some seam sealer, there you go.
All I imagine is Chris like spraying Flex Seal and smacking it like the guy on the commercial, like, boom! Everything's fine. Just get back in the truck and take it across the street.
Pour water on it, make sure it's good.
I remember seeing that infomercial, like, 5 or 6 years ago now, where they take like a screen and they spray it like full of Flex Seal and put it on the bottom of the boat. Like, yeah, I get the point, but what the hell is happening? Mickey Thompson Street Comps. What do you run the Mickey Thompsons on? Crazy Foot? Oh, Grand Prix. Sorry.
Yeah, it's his Grand.
Ross, speaking of welding, my first exhaust on that truck that I ever built, 15 and 3/4-year-old me was like right about to get my license. I was like, I need an exhaust on this truck. Got the truck before I could drive, like a month before. And I was like, I need an exhaust on it. Cut it off. Obviously, you have to.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Just cut it off. I did get a muffler, AutoZone.
Yep.
Nice.
Probably a
$30.
cherry bomb. Yeah.
It wasn't a cherry bomb. No, I was smart. It was some sort of thrust or something.
Thrustmaster?
Something.
No, that's
No, it
the
wasn't
sim rig.
Thrustmaster. It was the. I don't know what it was. I don't know. Anyways, I did have a muffler on there, but
or whatever.
something AutoZone or Advanced Auto carried just $30. But all we had was a stick welder, so I was just sitting there underneath the truck, just wait a second. Just wait a second. That's all we had.
Some stick welding, tack welding.
Because it's a 2001 truck, so it's rusty too.
Yeah.
So you're just sitting there.
So you just do this.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
It held for 3 years.
I mean,
and then it finally fell off.
What's the saying?
But-
What is it? The grinder and paint make me a welder I ain't. Is that what it
Yeah.
is?
Yup.
There it is. That's me. I could
Sure does.
give me some time to smooth it out and spray a coat of paint. $50 an hour, easy.
Yeah, it's the going rate.
No, but I like the stuff that you guys do all day.
Oh, it's a thrush.
Thrush, that's what it is.
Brad
There you
Keys,
go.
the Woody.
Oh, I
yeah,
remember the Woody the
one
Woodpecker.
the one with the wood. It had the woodpecker on it. Yep.
Holy,
That's exactly what it was.
It's funny. As soon as I saw Woody the Woodpecker, I was like,
Yep.
Thrush. Their marketing team is fantastic for that one.
It sounded decent. I'm not gonna lie. It
I mean,
sounded
everything
okay.
sounds decent when you're 15 3/4.
Yeah. 15
The
and
louder the
5/8.
better.
Oh, okay. Oh,
If
okay.
your neighbors are calling the cops, you did it right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Yep. My neighbors were my parents, so yeah.
now
they
I'm
were,
in my
they
40s.
were
I
happy.
have those neighbors.
That's fantastic. Oof. But like, sorry, what I was saying, these guys do like real hard work all day. Cause like, I mean, I don't envy you most of the time. You get to work on some really cool stuff, but they're out in the shop getting dirty and busting their knuckles all day, while I occasionally get to press buttons on the CNC, which is what I've been doing this week, and doing design work. So it is nice though, for sure, to be able to walk out directly to you guys and show you a design like, will this work? Is this going to mess up anything that like you would normally do?
Yep.
Because you don't typically get like people that do the design work and people that do the mechanical work together very often.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is super nice to have in house, because then we don't send out a designed part to customers that doesn't work. That would be real unfortunate. But anywho, so what are we working on in the shop right now? You guys are excited about? I mean, I suppose that we can talk about, because
I'm
there's
working on
always
Cobalt
something.
right now. Customers
Yep.
Cobalt.
Yeah.
We're just doing a big turbo on it. Fifth injector kit, and man,
Big Turbo S257.
257.
Yeah.
Yep. Big
Okay.
turbo, Opal's fifth. Yeah, it's a pretty simple build. It's a customer that comes quite often
Yeah.
to our shop. Really good customer of ours.
Super nice car.
Super nice car, beautiful car. It should rip pretty good. It should be a good ripper, and yeah, short throw. You have to have a short throw in there.
Yeah, especially if you're going to keep the F-35 in it for now.
I'm sure he'll be back.
You certainly want to.
But-
You certainly want to church
Yeah.
up an F-35
For
as much
now,
as you can.
his F-35, I will say, is one of the better ones. It feels crispy right now.
Really?
So
And then you no lift it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Not so crispy
Yeah.
anymore.
Don't
Yeah.
Goes from crispy to crunchy.
but I
Um,
just finished up Tim's Spark as well.
Ooh, and that's the build we've all been waiting for.
Yes, that
Is
was
the
yep.
Reaper, as we affectionately call it.
Instead of a ripper.
Yeah.
She's a Reaper.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are you working on today, Chris?
I got the ATSV that I'm finishing up. Getting ready to run with the freshly built motor, and
Oh, and
that one also got a short throw
Ooh.
onto the 6-speed.
Yep.
It's all the tactile stuff. If
Yeah.
we're talking about ATSV stuff, there is a cool thing that happened. What was it? Last weekend? It was one of our customers, Michael Bailey. Actually won his class with his ATSV with our ZZP Zona twin kit on it.
Yep.
Is that a Cadillac attack?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
I did
Not
see
heard
a
about
couple of videos of it. The 60-foot needs some work.
Yeah.
But that car,
I mean, he's
once,
got room for improvement then.
once those
So-
zonas light up, dude, that it's real hard to catch that thing in a straight line.
And I don't think he's got that car turned up as high as it'll go either.
No, I
got
don't.
it pretty safe yet.
Yeah, it's a pretty safe tune-up, but that's I think Bailey's the only Zona one that we did, right?
That's correct.
That is that's a hell of a kit.
It is.
That's one of those
That was a pricey kit.
And that's one of those flex the block kits. If you go a little too spicy.
Yep.
You can certainly make some squeaky main bearings if you are pressing the page up too much in HP tuners.
Is just hitting the up button?
Is that an auto or manual car?
That's an auto car.
It's auto A8 car, yeah. That's amazing for effectively a street car.
Yeah.
To go out and win their class.
I think he drives it all the time, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah.
Stock converter?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
It's that's a
I think no.
I thought I had a stock.
No,
converter.
it does not. It's got.
Oh.
I have no idea. You built the car, didn't you?
Yeah. The last time it was here, I put a converter in it. I don't remember what it was.
I
Though.
remember
What do you run for quarter mile time? I didn't see any of it.
I don't remember the time.
Fast.
I'd have to look it up. It's
Ran fast.
It's
fast.
pretty stinking quick.
Ran fast.
Especially for it's a sedan, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Heavy car.
whenever you get beat by someone with 4 doors, makes you want to sell the car, right?
Yeah.
I'm all about 4 doors. Everything I've had has had 4 doors.
It's funny because I think Ryan, Derek, and I we have this conversation at least once a day about the coupe versus sedan thing because he's a big coupe dude. Like he likes us. I mean, everybody likes C6s, but coupes are Ryan's thing. And anytime he brings up the coupes, I'm like, it's so much cooler to beat somebody with 2 extra doors.
I'm sorry, Ryan, but sedans are way better.
Sorry, bud.
Yeah.
Try again. Which is funny because his ATS is real quick.
Yeah.
Especially
but it's
for-
a sedan.
For an
building that
altitude.
car, that's
Yep.
quick. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Shout out to Phil. Who's Phil?
The groundhog.
That's the name? There's a name?
Punxsutawney Phil.
What?
Punxsutawney
Oh, yeah.
Phil. Sorry.
I guess I've never heard it called just Phil.
Sorry,
I don't know.
I was looking for a
know
comment
stuff.
with somebody named Phil. I was like, what the heck is going on?
Wait a minute. Who's Phil? Wait.
What is going on? Sedan coupe. See? Sebastian Wagner knows.
Yep.
Man, Sebastian has a real cool LMF sedan. He's got a sport red tint coat sedan, I think.
Okay.
It's got some real cool parts on it, and I think his car was at a dyno or something when we did in Tail of the Dragon a couple of years ago. The car made good power for what it was. So sedan Cobalts over coupe Cobalts all day.
I agree.
I like sedan Cobalts. There's been a couple in here that have been really nice, and it's like, that's real nice.
Yeah.
They're just unique enough, and when they're clean and you get them lowered a little bit, they're just unique enough where it's like,
well,
Yeah.
so
that looks that's just a clean
I like
car.
the way they look, obviously, but if anybody, well, all of us here have driven a Cobalt. If you ever try to back it into a parking spot and then the other car is real close, there's no way
Can't
you're
get
getting out of that car.
The doors are
The doors on the
huge.
coupe Cobalts I feel they're 94 foot long.
They're
It is the longest door that you have to deal with getting in and out of a car, and it's supposed to be like an economy-sized car still. No, not even a little bit. Oh yeah, see, Sebastian made 383 at the last Tail of the Dragon event. And Canatelli has a point: wagon, then sedan, then coupe.
Okay,
But-
I can agree with
But us as Americans, we didn't get any real good wagons, right?
We didn't get much
All
good
rare
wagons.
wagons are from Europe or.
And now, everybody here would take a CTS-V wagon,
Yeah.
obviously.
Oh yeah.
But
In blue,
if you
But
get
yeah,
one with
there's
100,000 miles on it now, you're still paying 40-50 grand.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
For sure.
Jetta's got a wagon.
Well, Passat wagon. There you go.
There
It's
you go.
obtainable.
Just
W8
saying.
Passat
Can we,
Or-
wagon.
Just
can we ask
saying.
Ryan to leave now?
There's
There's the door, Ryan.
my one of my family, my best friend, his family, they were all boys. There's
Yeah.
like 5 of them or 4 of them, and their whole life they bought Jettas from. There's a salvage yard right by their house. It was a Volkswagen salvage yard, and they would buy them from them every time because every one of them is the worst driver I've ever seen, and they wrecked every single one of them.
There you go.
And they had a million over the years. They still do it. They just buy them from the salvage yard, and then have them
Might
fix
as well
it.
buy a pre-smashed
Get
one,
it,
so I know I'm gonna wreck it.
get a cheap one. They wreck it. Come back,
Well,
sell it back to
At
them.
least they were cognizant of the fact that they were going to wreck it. So they were just like, well, I'll just buy another.
Real
installment and
bad.
try it again.
I've known him for 24 years since I've been born. We were born 2 days apart.
Yep.
And
See,
he's
Captain
wrecked 2
Slow
cars.
again. Buick Regal Torx.
There you go.
That is. I think that's my better half's next vehicle. I think I'm going to try to snag
talked
her
about it,
a
yeah.
Torx.
Yeah.
I would love to find like a total Torx in like an LF4 somewhere.
I don't know if that's the way.
Do the LF4 in a Torx?
Yeah, but doesn't it sit sideways in a Torx?
It does. The firewall's just a suggestion.
It's all right. Bill it.
Yeah,
Computer.
no problem. I'll scan it really quick and we'll just stamp out a new firewall.
There we
you
go.
know.
I was
We can
thinking
do
more
that.
like the transmission.
Well, that's
I think
Again.
firewall-wise, there's probably room.
yeah. I just wish because of the CTSV wagon, I wish they made some type of ATSV wagon version.
Yeah.
That would be the car for me. Because the real problem was I drove Tim's ATSV probably 7 months ago now. He was like, just drive it around. Let me know how you think. And I drove it like up and down 28th and like down Byron Center. And I was like,
I like.
I'm going to have one of these one day. Probably not a manual. The ELSD and the manuals try to kill you often.
Yeah.
Because they like to lock one way or the other and push you one way or the other. I don't like that at all. But
I mean, a welder.
well, I don't know if you can weld an ELSD though because clutch pack.
I don't know.
Yeah.
you can weld
Well, cool.
anything.
Now that Ross has opened himself up to that,
we fixed the whole problem.
I'll just
right
drop off a pumpkin one day on his bench back there. Here you go, bud.
Yep.
Remember that day?
Respirator out. Well,
Just-
from back here.
That's where you need the stick welder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get
I
Ryan.
know a
Ross
guy.
sticks in
I
there.
know a
All
guy.
There we go. Ryan, 15 and 3/4.
Ryan, 15 3/4.
See me over here.
And then wait a couple minutes.
You'll have that.
And it's been a quiet week at the shop, right?
It has.
Most of our team is over at the Punta Cana, hanging out on the beach while we're.
Yeah, their drinks have umbrellas in them this week.
Yep. It's funny. I got a couple pictures of like the folks out there with their drinks, and I was like, same.
Yeah.
Same.
I was like,
I mean, it's like, what, 40 degrees out right now? We're getting there.
I was like,
all
this
right?
is basically
It feels
summer.
great out there.
Yeah.
Sun's out.
We are getting there. The
Yeah.
sun's out right now. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Haven't
Which-
had that
Phil,
in
baby.
weeks.
Shout
Shout out,
Phil.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Bill.
Ooh, a Vega wagon with a small block? Yeah, but Vegas are just
Vegas?
they're not the lookers. So they're not the most attractive thing in the world.
Is Vega
But-
the one that got hit in the rear end? And
No, that's a
fire?
Pinto.
Pinto.
That's
Okay,
a
yeah,
that's a
right.
Pinto.
Where they just exploded?
Yeah, they just got on
Yeah.
fire. And,
They had like flint bumpers or something.
Just randomly. It basically, no, the gas tank, yeah. And it would just go boom. It was
I think you
a
missed the
bomb
joke,
on the
Ryan.
road. Oh, shit. Shoot.
You can tell it again, Mike. Ryan will listen this time.
You ever heard my stick welding story?
You ever try to stick weld exhaust?
I think I have before.
It's not a very good time.
No, it doesn't
No.
work out very well.
That's why even when we were doing, I was lucky enough to corner Curtis into doing the exhaust for the Encore, and thank goodness he did that, because that would have taken me months to like stick together and do that. But Curtis, he knocked it out relatively quickly for something that we don't ever really do, nor do I recommend you guys do, because it just took so long. And also, it is the quietest car I own. Like, our Whisper, I have one of our big 3-inch Whisper resonators, and then the shorty 3-inch resonator from like our Slingshot kits, and the Z04 Cat. And it's like,
it's still that quiet.
it's so quiet.
I don't think I've heard it run since.
It's pretty quiet.
That's how quiet it is.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's ran since then. But it's just so quiet. All you can hear is intake noise in that car. There's
I see no problem.
There's no exhaust noise whatsoever, which was great because we pretty much put the car together, and then my wife and I drove it to Virginia. Like it's like a 2,000-mile trip there and back. It was great. It's the quietest car we own. It was awesome.
That is nice. Quiet cars are like the best.
I think it's totally
When you go from
underrated.
loud
and
to-
comfortable.
Oh.
The older I get,
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference.
Wait
though.
till you
There's a
hit
difference
40,
between loud and like
40. That's the magic
sounds
number.
good,
Yeah.
but
Stock
a
starts
little
sounding
loud.
real good
Like
for whatever you're driving every day.
I don't know.
it sounded pretty good in my late 30s.
Yeah.
It just depends because like my truck is like that needs a new exhaust anyway, so I'm not gonna get like the noise is at the point here. All right. But like it doesn't drone at all because it's so far single cab, and then the exhaust is so far back on the truck that it doesn't mine doesn't drone at all.
Yeah.
And
A quiet, good sounding
so
exhaust, totally underrated. This is going out to you LSJ guys telling us you want your catbacks without resonators.
no,
Hard pass.
no,
Or
don't
the
do that.
LTG guys.
Oh yeah.
I understand everybody wants to hear the turbo noises, but
Yes.
Yeah, but if
there's
you,
a line.
if you just put an intake on it with the stock or our exhaust on it,
Yeah.
you get all the turbo noises and everything because you got an intake.
Mm-hmm.
No. Hood dump all turbo cars.
Oh,
hood dump,
External waste.
hood dump, external wastegate, dump tube, not
2-foot flames.
no recirc.
Yep. I think I'm gonna attempt to do an external gate on the old green car this year. That is the plan.
Trey, because you're not even doing Z04 when that goes back together.
No, it's getting something a little slightly spicier.
Have you decided what that is yet?
Yep, I got it sitting on the old workbench. I don't know if we're gonna put it out there yet until we stick it all together and make sure it does the things we want it to do. But it's it should be a good time. It might be a tad laggy for what I want to do with it, but you gotta do R&D somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what fixes that?
Nitrous. Yeah. Just spool it on a button.
Problem
You're a
solved.
GT55? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That costs
From
more.
turbo.
Costs more than a Sonic. The Garrett GT55. Oh,
I had a turbo S10 with a spin tech on it. The thing was so loud.
boy, spin.
I've
I mean, I
always
haven't
wanted
heard
to-
a spin tech
I do kind
in
of want to build an
forever.
S10 someday.
Oh.
I've had too many S10s.
I've had so many of them, but never a fun one.
I've had 8 of them.
8 of them?
Yeah. That's
I-
like where everything started.
Are we counting Blazers too?
No, these are just all S10s.
Okay, but if I was going to tell you a number of S10s, would it include Blazers? Or just pickups?
Just pickups.
So,
Well,
3.
well.
Oh, you've had 3?
Quite a few.
I've
Had
always
far too
wanted.
many.
I've always
But if
wanted
we include
one.
Blazers,
I mean, my truck
How
basically
many
is.
Blazers?
It's a single cab short box, but it's 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, true.
Well, they had S10 4-wheel
and
drive.
a square one, 3 different newer ones.
Thanks, you're about up there.
Yeah,
A lot of S series.
4 pickups. Yeah, 4 left.
Well, we all have
Two
our vices.
black
I
ones, a white
suppose.
one, and a red one.
Well, we are getting close to the end of the hour. I think. Do we want to go around and see what are you doing this weekend, Ross? Just more BMW things?
Oh, I've got about, I don't know, a couple hundred wires sitting on my kitchen table and a 2JZ intake and an engine harness to build. So I'll be doing that.
Cool.
Yep.
That sounds like a drop-in project. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chasing kiddos around also, and that's about it.
Yeah, what you do is you got to teach the children
That's
how
How to wire.
how to do the wiring,
Yeah.
and
I
then
definitely
just
need to do that.
I'm sure
Fun family project.
I'm sure CPS will have something to do with that.
Only if they're chewing on them while they're live.
Yeah, child.
It's not child labor if they
If they're
want to.
family.
It's not
And if it's family.
Yeah, there
true.
Yeah.
There you go. I like that. That's perfect. Well, that
Would
sounds
you
like
rather pick weeds or wire a car?
Yeah.
one's teaching them something they can use in the future. The other one is just labor for labor's reasons. There's no reason. What are you doing, Chris?
I've got nothing planned.
That's the best type
Not
of
a
weekend.
thing.
Yep.
Until you get home and your wife's like, "Oh hey,"
Right.
gives you that honey-do
Yeah,
list.
yeah.
Cool. Sounds like a good weekend. What about you, Ryan?
Oh, me and the wife might go out tonight, or yeah, I don't know. I have nothing planned this weekend. We're gonna be looking for houses like crazy.
Looking for a house right now is rough.
But rates are coming down a little bit, and so we're just looking. we're just looking, and we'll figure it out.
The looking part of buying a house is the
Yeah.
worst part.
It's stressful because once one pops up, everybody jumps right on it.
Mhm.
Like there's ones that'll pop up every day that are in our price range and that are nice, but they just go like.
You almost got to know before they're.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a realtor. We're looking. We got a great realtor, and
I got
that-
one
that's what we're
mine.
doing.
It went on the market on Easter Sunday. My realtor was like,
Yep.
"You want to get in and check it out
You're
today?"
like, yeah.
Luckily, we were able to do that.
Well, that and like
we got in and looked at ours just before the market got crazy.
Mhm.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
we moved in a couple weeks before COVID.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
nice.
We got lucky.
Our house in Virginia, we got real lucky because we decided to rent it, and then the people that we were renting from were like, "Hey, do you want to buy this house?" We're like, "Yeah, of course I do." So we got in right before it started to get dumb too. So like I think our APR is like 3.75, like 3.75. It's
Ours
we-
is like
pretty good.
2.8.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Hey, you want to trade?
No,
Yeah.
we couldn't move right now if we wanted to.
Yeah. Well,
We,
that's,
we could not make a lateral move.
no, that's the thing. Like with our house
No,
in
it wouldn't
Virginia,
make
we
sense.
talk about selling it, and I'm like, it's hard with a 3.75 APR
Right.
house to get rid of it. But this weekend, I'm with Chris. I'm gonna try to do nothing. And that would be ideal. I am gonna go pick up a proper snowblower.
Oh,
That's the plan because I got an electric boy, and electric boy no work when it gets too cold.
Dude.
37
Let's
degrees.
run
Yeah, it is. I don't know why you would get it.
Listen.
Maybe beginning of next week.
right now is when the prices are starting to go down.
Yeah,
So-
the prices are plummeting.
Or listen, midsummer.
No,
Midsummer. They're helping out this year.
all that's for sale yet midsummer is all the junk that didn't sell in the winter.
Yeah.
That is true.
What you need is marketplace, something really old with chains on the tires.
Yes.
No safeties.
Yes.
is exactly what I'm picking up
100%.
tomorrow, Ross.
Oh,
That is
I'm picking
exactly
up-
what I love because every time I get something off Marketplace, if it's a lawnmower or whatever,
Yep.
all the safeties come off.
the
Yep.
older the better.
Every single
It's like
one.
yeah, this one's like an old Murray
Oh,
or
it's the
something
best.
like that. It's got a
That is.
Tecumseh motor.
Yeah,
on
Tecumseh.
it.
Yeah.
Tecumseh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tecumseh, Briggs,
Yep.
any, like, the
And
Briggs.
I'm buying it from
I
some
don't know.
old heads that's like got chains wrapped around the tires,
That's
and I'm
the
like,
best.
man, this thing's probably been
Yeah.
serviced freaking every winter since 1985.
Yeah.
It's the best type of Facebook Marketplace find.
That's exactly what you want.
Something
Those are the
something
good
that's
ones.
been used, but you know,
I
kept
do have a pork shoulder all thought out.
Ooh.
So
that
that,
sounds good.
Sounds like a good weekend. Well,
Yeah.
we appreciate you guys stopping by and spending the last hour of our day with us. If you have any questions or comments, you can always email us at customerservice@ZZPerformance.com or drop a comment on one of these videos. See y'all later.